Rejection feels personal, no matter how you look at it. If you don't get a job, if you lose a partner, if your child doesn't want to come to you, it feels personal. Sometimes rejection is just redirection of your life. It's not a bad thing at all. Today I want to talk about building confidence even when someone walks away from you. How to stop taking their behavior as a reflection of your worth, and how to recognize a trauma bond. Because I'm literally healing from one right now. Okay, the term trauma bond was one of those things that I thought, okay, that's a myth. It sounds like too much. Until I actually dealt with it and realized how real it actually is. So this isn't gonna be a perfect tie with a bow healed story. This is real life. I've had real healing, and it's really been confidence in motion. It's like I went from a place of being really confident in life, felt like I could do anything, and doing most of it until these last couple of years, and this relationship that I had just took me for a loop, a huge loop. So why does rejection feel so personal? So rejection advocates one of the most primitive, oldest parts of our brain when it comes to our survival system. Our brains think of acceptance as safety. It's like winning an award when you're in elementary school. Like everyone wanted to be student of the month, or you wanted to get the president's award or the principal's award or whatever it was. You wanted one, no matter what. I remember when I was young, there in one of my classes, one of the teachers was giving out those little crosses. They were like knitted. They were necklaces. I don't know. Anyway, I never got one. And I felt such rejection from that. I remember being little. I don't even know what they gave them for, but I remember it hurt my little feelings at that time. I don't even think I ever told anyone about that. So when someone pulls away from you or blocks you or replaces you, it hits that primal fear of abandonment, that primal fear of you're just not feeling good enough. You start to tell yourself stories. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? Why them? Why not me? But sometimes it's not the truth of the situation. It's not about what you did wrong. It's not about how you could have changed anything. It's not that you weren't even enough. Sometimes another person just doesn't know how to be emotionally available. They don't know how to treat you. They don't know how to have love. They don't know how to do all sorts of different things. And as people, adults, like, we are all different. We all grew up differently, and we have to try to bring together two different worlds, two different types of people. It's super, super difficult. Sometimes the thoughts you think come from past wounds, past relationships you've been in. Like something may come up and you think, oh, this is the same thing that happened before, and I was wrong that time, so maybe I'm wrong this time. But it's probably not the truth. We tend to, especially women, we tend to go straight into what did we do wrong, because we try to do everything right for everybody all the time. Rejection doesn't ever, will never equal your worth. Let me say that again. Rejection will never equal your worth. Someone else's choice to be with you or be around you is their choice, it's their capacity. It's what they can handle at the time. It's not that you were too much or you weren't even enough. It's just about what they can deal with. Their wounds, their emotional intelligence, their patterns, not your value. It really does not have anything to do with you. Even like if you get ghosted, that has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with them. Maybe they were scared and they didn't know what to say, or even if they didn't like you, it was them that decided to, hey, I don't really want to have any tough conversations. I just want to run away. That has nothing to do with you. That doesn't mean you're not worth something more, something better. It means that they just didn't have it in them to do the right thing. think of their behavior as a definition. I mean, think of their behavior as data, not a definition. You're just learning who they are, whoever it is, whatever the situation is. Same with the job. Every job you don't get does not mean you should have been there. It's not, you didn't lose an opportunity. If the opportunity was for you, you would have had the job. You may have been saving yourself from a whole bunch of heartbreak and pain and just being in a toxic work environment that you didn't like. So we need to stop taking this personal. How to stop taking it personal, first off, is separating your identity from your experience. We have bad experiences. We have bad experiences all the time. That doesn't mean that is who you are. People will have a bad experience with something, and all of a sudden, they're a person that just doesn't like something, which is fine. But when it comes to feeling rejected, we don't want to give ourselves that definition of, I'm the type of woman that gets rejected. I'm the type of woman that a man doesn't want. I'm the type of woman that they would never hire for this job. What happened to you is not who you are. You're experiencing hurt, but you're not a woman who gets rejected. That is not your definition. You're just experiencing a hard time. It may be unspeakably. It may be extremely hard. You may not be able to stop crying, but that's not who you are. I had to think to myself, why do I want to be with someone who doesn't know how to treat me and who isn't learning how to treat me well? Why do we want to be with someone that we have to teach? Why do we have to settle just because we've spent time with this person? So instead of saying, why wasn't I enough? Say, why was I settling for someone who didn't know how to hold me, who didn't know how to take me out, who didn't know how to be more serious, who didn't know my birthday? We have to reframe rejection as being protection, because that's what it is. God is, okay, especially if you've done this before, if you've dealt with this before, like with another person, another man, and you've settled, you've tried to fix someone, and you weren't paying attention to God, you weren't listening to what he was saying to you. God is like, oh, I'm gonna make you listen. You're gonna listen. You need to, it's like you have to learn this lesson, and until you learn it, the lesson is not gonna stop trying to surface itself. Sometimes rejection is the only communication that a person will make a change for. You have to reframe rejection as protection and know that rejection is a tactic that other person used because they didn't know what else to do or how else to do it. They didn't know what to say. They didn't know how to think about it. They may not have had the emotional intelligence to even think about your feelings. So instead of internalizing what they did, accept that they did what they did because of who they are, not because of who you are. Because at the end of the day, you weren't meant to shrink yourself to be kept by anybody. You weren't meant to just look at them for their potential and live in this world in your head probably where you think, oh my God, they can be such a great person. Why aren't they being that way? Or what am I doing that's stopping them from being that way? What am I doing that's hindering this progress? Because they have potential to be great. They have potential to be such a good boyfriend and to such a good husband and to take me all the places where I want to go. I just need to make sure that they know where to take me and what to do, and I need to make sure that they know how to love me right. I need to make sure to tell them all the things. Oh, he didn't hear me the first time. Let me say it again. Let me repeat myself. Oh, he did this thing in the situation that hurt my feelings, and this is the fifth time this has happened. Let me just remind him that this hurts me. They need to reject you. They need to reject you in order to save you from yourself and the fantasy that you have in your mind that they are more than they actually are. And that rejection comes from the divine. That rejection has nothing to do with you being worth nothing. It has something to do with you being worth everything. and you happen to learn a lesson from someone who doesn't know how else to explain themselves, or can't explain themselves because they don't have the words, they don't have the emotions. But all in all, this is a divine, this is given from up above. This is given from God. This is given from the divine for you to meet this person who end up rejecting you because you deserve better. When something like this does happen with a person, if they reject you due to their inabilities, make sure to keep yourself at a distance. You may want to unfollow them on social media temporarily. You may want to mute anything that has to do with them. You don't want to reach out because you may go into a little bit of withdrawal from missing them. But once you realize that the rejection was a great thing for you, don't start reaching out. Don't be like, I want to be friends, because now I realize that it wasn't about me being not worth it. It's about me being everything. Protect yourself, protect your progress, move on. That was a lesson, you learned it, it's time to move on. You're gonna miss them, it's gonna go away. So let's talk about the infamous trauma bond. I can't believe I didn't think that this really existed, because it's so serious. It really is. Okay, so a trauma bond is an emotional attachment formed through cycles of inconsistency, emotional highs and lows, moments of connection followed by hurt, feeling like you need the person to regulate your emotions. So this is when someone gives you just enough to keep you there, and it happens for a long period of time. It's called, well, they breadcrumb you. They give you just enough to think that it's gonna be okay, that they want you, that they see you the same way you see them, and then they do something that is like, oh, well, that's not what I want. But then they come back and they're better and they fix it. It's just like when you think, like, whenever you pull away, this person comes to you, right? Why do you have to be done with a man in order for him to change? Now, let me first say, he's not changing because he wants you back and he's just going to be this forever great guy. I mean, maybe if this happens years and years and years later, after he's done a whole bunch of emotional work and he's healed his unhealed trauma, but if not, then no. So a lot of times, like, especially women, we get older, 30s, 40s, and we're ready. We're ready to find a relationship. We're ready to be with someone. And we go into that and we're like, well, I'm ready. Like, come on. And we find someone, they love bomb, and you're just like, oh, this is the guy. And we don't really spend enough time to really see what's happening because our emotions are there. So, from the beginning, because we're ready. And then it's inconsistency starts at times. And you're just like, well, he does this and this and this, but he doesn't do all these other things over here. Well, I guess that's okay. He probably will soon, or, maybe I'm thinking about it too much, or there's something that I'm doing that's making him not do it. So you're hurt, and then you're happy, and then you're hurt, and then everything is good. That starts forming this trauma bond. And it is super traumatic, especially when you're trying to break it. But when you realize, this person is really not who I want them to be, and they never will. And once you realize, oh, I'm in this situation, I have this trauma bond, all right, how do I break it? And then the hard part begins. It's so hard to leave. It's like you were drugged, and you've been drugged every day, and now you're trying to get off of it and you're struggling. Your body starts thinking that chaos equals connection. You were ready, you wanted that person, and their inconsistencies kept coming, but you kept wanting them, and your body gets used to that like a drug. Your brain gets addicted to the maybe. It gets addicted to the quote unquote potential. I heard a girl, she once said, potential does not win trophies. Potential does not win trophies. It does not win trophies, and you are the trophy. It may be a temporary, it may win temporarily, but not all in all. Not usually. Not with happiness. You feel relief whenever they come back, and it keeps the cycle alive. The sun, woo, Lord. You feel like, oh my God, I just want them near me, even if you know something's not quite right. It took me a long time to make a decision to put up the boundary to have this person out of my life, out of my house. Because everything felt better when he was around. Even though I knew in the back of my mind, this can't be okay. Something's not right. Something's not right. This isn't love. This isn't how it should feel. Not every day. Not when we're not going through things. Not when we're not, hey, I don't appreciate that you do this, or I don't particularly like this, and the other person is like, oh, let's talk about it. Let's work this out. Let's fix it. Those conversations were not happening. If they're not happening, you may be in a trauma bond. It makes you think that pain is proof of passion. They're gone, but they're really thinking about me and wishing they could be with me. I love them so much because it hurts that they're not here. You don't love them. You probably don't want to be with them, but it hurts. And it feels better when they come around. Even if they come around in not quite the way you want them to. Like half-heartedly. They come around and you're just like, this doesn't really feel good, but they're here and that feels good. It's really difficult having a trauma bond with someone who's going to be in your life forever. Forever, because we have children together. It's not always going to be like this. I mean, it's been something that I've been healing from. I'm definitely way on the other side of it. However, there's still little things that I feel at times. Like, if I get a text, like, there's a little bit of a dopamine rush. But I don't sit around and think about it for the most part. Something will trigger me, and then something will happen. I still sometimes feel moments of sadness because I thought things were different. But I am way happier being where I am now than where I was. It's such a great thing. It's such a great thing to just feel free and focus on myself and what I want in this world. Someday, I used to feel like I wanted him, even though I didn't actually want the reality of him. It was really what I wanted was the fantasy that I had in my mind, like a Disney movie. I had this beautiful fantasy in my mind of us that was never reality, and that's really what I wanted. So, to me, that's what my trauma bond was. It's in your mind, obviously. It's not a real bond, not a physical bond. It's a bond of, this could have been so great. This looks like it could be so wonderful. But no, it's not the reality. It feels like confusion. It feels like longing for something that's never gonna happen. Not there. It feels like being angry, then being sad, and then being angry again, then being sad. Wanting closure. Wanting closure from someone else, but really someone that you get into a trauma bond situation will more likely not give you closure, because they don't even probably realize that you feel how you feel. A lot of times they just don't even have a clue. It feels like they don't care, but really, I mean, they may not care, but really they don't have a clue. Not a clue whatsoever. It feels like they have an emotional power over you, though. Like, at first, like, you're Like they can't, like it's hard to get them out of your mind. Like they're always there, standing somewhere or sitting in the back of your mind, and everything that else happens is happening in front of them. But when that passes by, they're sitting there and you just see them. You just can picture them in your mind. You may feel embarrassed to still admit that you care. And I think that's okay. If you admit it or not, if you care or not, eventually you won't care anymore. But at first, it's gonna be a bit difficult to not. So how to break up a trauma bond? Like, break it. Other than distancing yourself, have radical honesty. It hurts. It's not love. Say, this hurts. Say, that was not love. Say, my nervous system was addicted to the cycle. Your nervous system became used to the inconsistency and it got comfortable with it. And now you have to break that comfort, and it's uncomfortable. Remind yourself that separation is not punishment, even though it feels like it to your brain. It's like you're detoxing. So you have to stay away. There has to be separation. You have to let it go. That's one thing I didn't realize at first. I was like, I can just have this person in my house every day, in my life every day, and heal. I may have been able to, but it would have been just harder and longer. And it ended up he started doing things that were worse, that hurt more. And then it was like, I got to a breaking point. And I was just like, oh no, it's done. I'm done. I was done. It was great. It was hard, but it was great. You need to rebuild your identity outside of the relationship. I realized that I had really not had a time in my life where I really focused on me. I had been in multiple long-term relationships, and I had focused on the man because I wanted him to be the right person for me. And so I worked on him. I worked to try to fix someone that wasn't for me and make them more for me. And after this situation, I realized that I don't want to do this anymore. First of all, it's not going to work in my favor. Second of all, why? There's nothing wrong with being without a man. You know, and this is something that happened from a young age in my life, and it's okay because I've definitely learned God has been there for me. Definitely. Reconnect with your body. I just recently had a baby 4 months ago, so I haven't really gotten into the whole gym thing quite yet, but I'm going to. I'm trying to rebuild my routine of that because I had a strong, solid gym routine, and then there was COVID, then there was 2 babies. So my gym routine is kind of all over the place, but I'm working on it. I'm pouring into my goals, literally, by pouring candles. But aside from the physical stuff, it's a lot of emotional regulation that's happening. I've been saying a lot of mantras, and I started seeing a therapist, which is very helpful. So one of the mantras is, I have all the time and resources that I need. I have all the time and resources that I need. I am protected. I am protected. Gentle, gentle, gentle. When I start thinking about that situation, I start getting a bit of anxiety, so I may go into some breathing exercises. I don't really journal, but I will write things down for a moment. I definitely call my friends. I love my friends that we vent to each other about things that we're going through, and they help a lot. Of course, they don't know exactly what I'm going through, But at least I can vent to them and they can say, you know, it's okay. Or we can go to dinner or something like that. I have been redirecting my energy into me so hard. It's been amazing. Like, everything that I want to do for me is what I'm doing right now. And my babies. Last but not least, name the fantasy that you're having in your head, because that's really what it is. Separate that person from the version in your head. Look at them as who they really are, not who they are in your mind. I had to take a break for nature real quick. But look at who they really are, how they really make you feel, not how you want them to make you feel. Don't even waste your time with that anymore. Confidence after rejection is being in alignment with yourself. You didn't fail. You didn't lose. You were just being repositioned. You learned a lesson that life has been trying to teach you for years and years, but you weren't paying attention. And so hopefully you're paying attention now, because I was not paying attention until now. Trusting yourself again is the antidote to all of this. Doing what you need to do for yourself, making choices for yourself, trusting yourself, coming through for yourself, setting your goals and achieving them for yourself is what gets you through this. And what helps with your confidence after you go through this big rejection moment. Because you're gonna feel a little down at first. And maybe your worth is kind of in the trash a bit, but you start feeling better. Your future does not need this person in your life, or the job if it's a job. The person you are becoming cannot drag them with you. You don't need them, they're dead weight. Let them go. Take your time and heal. Rejection is not a reflection of your value. Trauma bonds are not proof of love, even though it feels like it. And healing is not linear, it's a mess. My therapist would say that it's like a spiral, and you spiral up. And even though you look, like say that person is in the middle, you look at them from different levels. So you get higher and higher, and it's a different vantage point. Even though it may come back to you as being emotional, it's still different. You're healing. It's just takes some time. And all of this is very possible, because what you're walking away from is nothing like what you're walking towards. You are walking towards you, towards your dreams, towards your goal, towards the happiness that you're gonna have in your life. So keep going and be proud of yourself. My name is Dr. Chandra Smallwood. I'm a confidence coach, as well as a mother, a trauma bond survivor, and an all-around self-love person. Please subscribe, share, and like. See you in the next video.